Okay, so we are looking at the Daredevil trade Father, written and drawn by industry legend Joe Quesada, with inks by Danny Mickey and paint by Richard Isanov.
Yes.
This is a bit of a mixed bag, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, beside being a serial killer mystery and a bit of a superhero throwdown, this is also quite a detailed character study of Daredevil himself, and actually is quite a personal story to Quesada about how we kind of grow to live up to our parents whilst also trying really hard not to turn into them.
Right, yeah. And it's interesting when there's that much writing on a story, when there's that much going on, whether it weakens or strengthens it, it can get a little bit fractured in Father. It's pulling you in a lot of different directions.
Yeah, Matt Murdock, as Daredevil, has pretty much wiped Hell's Kitchen clean of criminals, and as a result is going a little bit crazy with boredom. He has literally nothing to do now. Then up steps a person, which the press dub Johnny Sockets. He's a serial killer who cuts out the eyes of his victims.
Yeah, and if that was all that was going on in this story, if it was just Daredevil trying to figure out who this killer is, it would be still a good, tidy little story. But there's also a new group of superheroes who've moved into the neighborhood who call themselves the Santarians.
Yeah, you know what, Al? I didn't like the Santarians. Not one. Why were they there? I didn't see any point to them. It felt like they were there to fill in space and to give someone to Daredevil to fight. Like, what was their purpose? And this was written in 2005, and have they popped up since? No.
I have not seen them in anything, no. I don't think they really made an impression. But look, without them, it wouldn't really have been much of a superhero story. I mean, Murdock probably could have done the whole thing without putting on the spandex once.
Well, true, but Quesada could have introduced an established character, someone with a little bit more interest. The Santarians were boring.
Okay. We're here to review Daredevil, though, not the
alright.
Santarians. And look, I think there was a really good story here, and there was some really good art as well.
There was some great art in parts. There were some amazing panels, there's really impacting panels that almost put me in mind of like Frank Miller in his greatest days. Like, this is amazing artwork. But then it's followed up with pages of tedious, multi-panel exposition, which quite frankly I just wanted to skip past. The inconsistencies of this book really got me annoyed.
Well, look, on the topic of inconsistencies, there was one thing that did bug me a lot, and that was the depictions of the press. There are these two news anchors that show up a few times, and first of all, they've got these ridiculous names. What is it?
Cotton Candy.
No, it's Candy Cotton.
No, it's Candy Cotton.
Candy Cotton. And Randy for Candy. It's ridiculous. And added to which, they're talking about the actions of this brutal serial killer as if they're talking about a movie and they're actually on Entertainment Tonight. Yeah. And I see what Quesada was doing. It's very obvious that he's making a statement about news as entertainment, but the tone of it just didn't fit with the rest of the story. Everything else was quite dark, and it just, every time they showed up, they really put me off.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I loved the backstory that we got from this. You know, Daredevil's relationship to his father and how that really influenced him and shaped him so much more than a face full of radioactive isotope ever did.
Yeah.
The serial killer story is great, and the art, again, most of it's good, but it's just, there's so much in this that was wrong as well, that I just really wanted it to follow through on these moments of brilliance.
Yeah, but it did have those moments of brilliance, and I think that's something you need to focus on more. I mean, it did have some amazing artwork, some amazing panels, and there was this great serial killer story that was really well written. I mean, I went into this one really wanting to give it a buy. I really did. I love Joe Quesada, but yeah, the Santarians didn't grab me. They weren't great, and the artwork didn't stay consistently great, so it did slide over the line into being a borrow for me.
See, the story, the serial killer story, that's a buy. A lot of the panels in this, absolutely a buy. But overall, this is just a borrow and not a slip under. Like, this is a low borrow for me. I was really disappointed by this.
Look, you're not being a bit harsh?
Yes, I'm being harsh. I mean, very harsh. I love Joe Quesada. I love his body of work. I think he's a brilliant artist and writer. And reading something like this that just isn't that great, it really kind of hurt.
You okay?
No.
Do you want to go get an ice cream?
Yes.
Okay. What flavour?
Strawberry.
Okay.